Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Paul Kelly. This is a betting tip show for the second biggest heavyweight fight to take place this weekend. Zhilei Zhang will take on former world champion Joseph Parker in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia on Friday, March the 8th. Zhilei Zhang, who's obviously coming off those wins against Joe Joyce last year, compared to Joseph Parker, who's obviously had that fantastic win against Deontay Wilder at the back end of last year on the day of reckoning on the cards. Paul, good fight. Been lots of people talking about this, lots of debate over who's going to win, and it's a winner stays on fight, isn't it? I think the winner is in a good place to fight for a world title in the second half of this year. The loser, we'll kind of see, could still be faced with big fights, so might have to go down the pecking order. Thoughts on this fight, Paul? I know you've done the weekly preview and other bits of content for this one as well, but a couple of days out now. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, mate, thanks for having me on. I love this fight. I really do love this fight. I think it's one of those where you can definitely make a case for both men. I've heard of a lot of people back in Zhang. I've heard of a lot of people back in Parker. And that's when you know you've got a good fight. When, a lot of people are sitting on the fence or you're hearing a lot of different opinion. It's not heavily one-sided in favor of one man. Obviously, the bookies, I'm sure we'll come on to, do have one man as kind of an overriding favorite. But yeah, I think it's a great fight. I can see people calling it a 50-50. You look at Zhang's two Joyce wins and incredible both times. First time people didn't expect it. Second time was conclusive and even better than the first. Then you look at Parker and nobody gave him a chance against Wilder. Look what he did. He almost got Wilder out of there maybe as well if there was another round or two in that fight. And he outboxed him comprehensively. So yeah, both coming in off really good wins, both riding the crest of a wave right now. And yeah, it's a fight that I'm really, really looking forward to.
Yeah, and this is what we want to see, isn't it? It's two top 10 heavyweights fighting each other. It's arguably two top five heavyweights fighting each other. So personally, look, I'm looking forward to this as I am the main event on Friday night. But yeah, look, it should be a really good fight. Without further ado, Paul, I'll let you go first. What is your betting tip for this fight?
Yeah, thanks, mate. I think just I can't get out of my as good as Zhang is, and as good as he looked against Joyce. Sorry, I still think he's slow. I still think he tires after halfway through a fight. And I think Joseph Parker's kind of the opposite. I think Joseph Parker's quite agile for a heavyweight. He's not going to be like Joe Joyce, who doesn't really move his head or anything. Joe Parker does. Obviously, I know Joyce beat Parker, but styles make fights and all that. But I'm backing the New Zealander to win the fight, mate. I think even that outright, he's like 7-4, nearly 2-1 in some places to win. So that would be good. I'm going for a stoppage in favor of Joseph Parker, which I'm seeing odds of 11-2 for. So yeah, you're getting better odds of 5-1 than 5-1 there, which is pretty appealing in my eyes. I think that yeah, the Wilder fight, I think he was smart in the sense of yeah, he was winning every round, but could he have got him out of there? Perhaps that's maybe one criticism you could have said. But then at the same time, people were just waiting for Wilder to let his hands go and clip Parker. So that was probably still in the back of his mind as well, even, in rounds 10, 11, 12 at the end of the fight. Similarly, I think Zhilei Zhang is, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, as good as he looked, you can't take away from the fact that he's 40, 41 years of age. He is not fast. He's not a fast heavyweight. He's brilliant southpaw, great jab, great backhand, great 1-2, but he's not quick. He's obviously very powerful. His feet aren't going to move a whole lot. I just think that after he will have success early on, but ultimately I think he might tire. And Joseph Parker, if I was Joseph Parker and Andy Lee, I'd say weather an early storm, and then you have all of the tools to take him out of there, and probably in the second half of the fight. So again, if you're going with that, I would that's 9-1 as well for Parker from rounds 7-12. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking, mate. I think obviously my safe bet would be Parker to win by stoppage, which I am confident in, which is 11-2. But yeah, second half of the fight, 9-1, massive odds for me. I think there's definitely money to be made on this fight.
Yeah, huge. I think there are still questions about Zhilei Zhang's gas tank. I think it was a while ago now, but still can't get that fight against Jerry Forrest out of my head when he was kind of clinging on for dear life. The fight against Filip Hrgović, which a lot of people thought he won, he looked completely that last couple of rounds. He did look like he was hanging on a bit. And I'll still say this a year later. That first fight against Joe Joyce, where he got the stoppage in the sixth round, I do believe that if we had got to kind of round eight, round nine in that fight, Joyce would have had a chance of stopping Zhang because of Joyce's gas tank would have still been at a high rate in those rounds compared to Zhang, who would kind of been I believe would have been kind of running on empty by the time we got to that stage of the fight. So I don't blame you for that tip, Paul. I think that's a good tip. However, I'm going with the opposite. Well, yes, similar opposite tip to you. I'm going for Zhilei Zhang to win in rounds 5 to 8 at 7 to 2. I think Zhang, he's a much bigger man than Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, he's put on some bulk in his last handful of fights, but he's not a massive man. Zhilei Zhang is 6'5", 6'6", is a massive man. I think Parker's going to find that a struggle to deal with. I also think we've seen Zhang in the first fight and the second fight against Joe Joyce, in particular in the second fight. I do think he's one of the most powerful fighters in the heavyweight division as well. So yeah, I'm favoring Zhang here. I really am. I think Zhang will win. I do think he'll win by stoppage. I don't see it going the distance, and I do think that rounds 5 to 8 at 7 to 2 is a good tip.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Fair enough. Again, I think if Zhang is going to win this fight, it's going to be via stoppage. That's the only way I can see it. And I completely agree. I think he's got until about the eighth round, and if he hasn't done it, then he could be in trouble. So yeah, can't really, can't really disagree with your tips there. Although we are going with different men, I completely see your logic, 100%.
Yeah, as always. Final one from me, Paul, just for a bit of fun. Without looking at the odds, give me one round that you think Parker's gonna do this in, and I'll let you know what odds you're looking at.
10.
10, round 10, 40 to 1. So worth a pound, worth £2 maybe. I am cheating, so I'm looking at the odds. Round 6, I would go for Zhang is 16 to 1. So pretty good odds there. It's still very tempting. We'll leave it there, Paul. Thank you for your time. If you're watching this video, please let us know what you think. Let us know if you're placing a bet on this video, and yeah, comment and subscribe, and please do watch the rest of our content around this card. Paul, thank you very much for your time. I will speak to you again soon.